Ghiblis, Kuku here with another Disneybound cast challenge. Today we are doing Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service. One of the prompts for the March Disneybound challenge was Studio Ghibli, and I really wanted to do this look, but again, March got away from me, so we're doing it in April. Also, I said Studio Ghibli. I just watched a 5-minute analysis of the pronunciation of the studio, and the guy talking about it said Ghibli, which is like an anglicized version of the Japanese pronunciation, but Ghibli comes from the original Arabic or Italian pronunciation. I said it Ghibli growing up, and then somewhere along the line I switched to Ghibli, and then apparently I just switched back. I don't know. I can't be consistent with my pronunciation. There's too much disagreement about how to say it with an American accent. Today we're going with Ghibli. I didn't actually grow up on Studio Ghibli films. I only grew up on Kiki's Delivery Service. It has been in the last few years that I've watched Totoro, Ponyo, Howl's Moving Castle, which I have strong feelings about that one because I love the book and the movie ain't it. I understand a lot of people grew up with the movie and so it's very nostalgic to them, but I can't. And Totoro took me a while to warm up to. I'd actually like to do a bound from Totoro so I can talk about it because I have complicated feelings about that movie. But I still haven't even seen Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke. That's what it's called, right? Mononoke? Hope I got that right. I just missed Studio Ghibli, except somehow Kiki's Delivery Service. And this one I grew up on, I adored as a kid. I've always loved everything to do with witches. And this movie is so cozy and lovely. It's a very soft sort of witchcraft. I only recently found out that it's based on a book and I really want to read the book, but I am such a book to movie purist. I actually tend not to like movie adaptations almost ever. And so I'm afraid of reading the book and developing a hatred of the movie because that happens to me. But I don't know. My love of this movie is very deep, so I'm not sure that could happen. And I need to read the book. So yeah, I always thought this movie was really cute and pleasant, and then I went several years without watching it. I watched it as a kid, loved it, and then kind of forgot about it. And then went on a Miyazaki kick where I was watching all of the Studio Ghibli films, and by all I mean 3 of them. And so I rewatched Kiki's Delivery Service, and actually, where I lived at the time, there was a theater that did Fandango events, I'm pretty sure is what it's called, where they'll show old movies, recordings of Broadway shows, really cool stuff. I don't live there anymore, and it makes me really sad because I loved going to that theater. I watched the first Star Trek movie in theaters. I watched Casablanca in theaters. I watched the Broadway tour of Newsies in theaters. It's not good. Watch the Disney version. It was a really cool thing. And I got to go to Kiki's Delivery Service in theaters with my mother. But right around that time, I stopped writing. I have been a writer my entire life. Before I could write, before I could read, I was coming up with stories, telling them to my brother and making him write them down for me. I love story. I've always been a storyteller. And then right before COVID, so I can't even blame COVID for this, I just kind of stopped writing, or writing became really, really hard. And I had a couple spurts here and there over the past few years where I would write, but then it would go away again. I haven't written consistently in 4 years. And that's insane to me because through chronic illness, through a lot of struggles in my life, I never stopped writing. So having that go away has been weird. Kiki's Delivery Service, if you haven't seen it, is about a witch who loses her magic. And so my mom and I went to Kiki's Delivery Service right when I had lost my magic, right? And we just bawled through this lovely, simple, cute kids movie. We're crying our eyes out. And I want to rewatch it because I still think it's a very important movie for me right now. But it's emotional. I did name my cat after the cat in this movie. And it drives me crazy because you can't tell why now. If you look at her, you're why would you call her Gigi after this Gigi? She's not a black cat. She's not a boy. I think in the Japanese version, Gigi is a girl, but for some reason in the American version, he's a boy. Not sure what happened there. Translation is weird. I need to watch subtitled versions of all my favorite Japanese things because I always feel something gets kind of lost. I mean, I'm sure things get lost in the subtitle translation too. I just want to watch as many versions as I can. Someday I'll learn Japanese just so I can watch anime. Which is funny. I'm not actually that into very many. I like Studio Ghibli, Princess Tutu, and Spy Family. That's about all the anime in my life. But anyways, you look at my Gigi, she doesn't look anything like Kiki's Delivery Service's Gigi. But when my Gigi was a kitten and was tiny, she had these giant ears. Her ears were so big. And that I feel is one of the main characteristics of the cat in Kiki's Delivery Service. He's just got these giant ears. And so it's oh, you look like a little Gigi. Also, we went through 800 names with this cat. No one in my family could agree. Somehow Gigi is the one that's stuck. But then she grew up and she grew into her ears, and so they're not giant anymore, and it makes me so sad. I did make sure to incorporate like black cat earrings in this look because I had to have a reference to Gigi. I went out and looked at CC a lot for this look, but the cat earrings are actually the only thing I stuck with. I need more bows, but I love this bow that I have. You can find it on my Tumblr. I think it's designed after Sailor Moon, or like one of the versions of it is based on Sailor Moon. I've never watched Sailor Moon, so I couldn't tell yet. But I'm pretty sure that's where the design comes from. And I've used this bow in a million looks, but I just love it so much. And I actually thought it was really perfect for Kiki, even though it doesn't look exactly like hers. Again, Disney bounding, not supposed to be literal. I really wanted a nice, simple, flowy black dress, and I realized we really do not have that in The Sims. I don't know if like flowy is hard to convey. That would make sense. I like the dress I ended up with. It's definitely not like the exact direction I was planning on going, and also it is the dress I used for the Wicked Witch of the West. So apparently this is just the witch dress, which like, I'd wear it. This wasn't exactly the look I had in mind, but I think it came out okay. I'd love to hear your thoughts because we are coming up on the end now. So that is my Kiki. Let me know what you thought. Did you grow up on the Studio Ghibli films? Do you say Ghibli or Ghibli? Let me know what other Disneybound looks you would like to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next episode. Bye!